A Tigr armored vehicle of Russian invaders exploded on the outskirts of the temporarily occupied Melitopol in the Zaporizhzhia region. The press service of the Defense Intelligence of Ukraine reported on this. Inside the vehicle were Kadyrovites, who are part of the occupying contingent of the Russian Federation on the captured territories. On April 3, 2025, a Tigr armored vehicle of Russian invaders exploded on the outskirts of the temporarily occupied Melitopol in the Zaporizhzhia region. Inside were the enemy crew and the landing party of the Vostok Akhmat invasion unit, the report states. Ukrainian intelligence claims that at least 5 Kadyrovites were killed as a result of the explosion. No details about the operation, including who or what weapon was used to carry out the explosion, have been disclosed. The Vostok Akhmat Battalion is a Russian military unit that is part of the Russian Ministry of Defense, formed in September 2022 by order of Ramzan Kadyrov. The soldiers of the battalion are participating in the aggressive war against Ukraine. They are part of the Russian occupying contingent in the Zaporizhzhia region. On March 20th, a Nissan vehicle carrying Russian officers exploded in the Russian-occupied city of Skadovsk, the Kherson region. The Russian car was reduced to a pile of twisted metal, the Defense Intelligence of Ukraine statement said. The Defense Intelligence of Ukraine also vowed that, for every war crime committed against the Ukrainian people, there will be fair retribution. Ukrainian special services have frequently targeted cars carrying Russian officials or individuals linked to Moscow's administration in occupied territories and inside Russia. Neither side often claims responsibility for these explosions. Also, the Ukrainian side usually does not comment on such incidents officially, but sometimes hints at the involvement of the resistance forces. Russian put on a GoPro, probably hoping to film himself as a great warrior, but all he managed to capture was a Ukrainian drone hitting his vehicle.
Давай сюда! Блядь! 300, блядь!
Ukraine's 1st Air Force Combined Rifles Brigade recorded the destruction of 2 Russian tanks that tried to break through to Ukrainian positions in the Pokrovsk direction. Ukraine managed to stabilize the Pokrovsk front, and Russian attacks have begun to fade due to their suicidal meat wave strategy and massive losses. 16 dead in Kryvyi Rih. 6 of them are children. Many more are injured. By preliminary information, Russia used a cluster missile on the city. These are Putin's peace talks. There was a playground near where the Russian missile hit. A little boy after the Russian strike. People are trying to find out whether he's alive.
Я прошу вас! Люди! Куда объяснить? Нет, я не слышу вообще. Я не слышу. Ира!
Я ничего не сделаю, я не буду подпрыгивать.
А ну тихо, тихо, тихо.
People are desperately begging for help. A dad is trying to call his son after a Russian missile strike. He doesn't know yet that the boy is dead. This is beyond horrible. What a tragedy. The family is still sitting by the body of their 15-year-old son. The aftermath of a Russian strike on Kharkiv last night. 4 killed, 35 injured. A family of mom, dad, and their 10-year-old daughter were killed by Russia. Russia's daily strikes on peaceful Ukrainian cities are pure terror. These strikes have no military objectives whatsoever. Killing children on a playground is a war crime and terrorism on the part of Russia. It cannot be seen in any other way. Putin is an international criminal and a terrorist. The people he sends to negotiations are representatives of the terrorist. Russia is selling its terror. Russia is increasing the intensity of strikes on Ukraine to bargain for better terms. Is it possible to do business with them in this light? Everyone who enters into a dialogue with Russia in any area, art, business, politics, needs to realize that this country kills children on playgrounds with missiles. Terrorists who are not punished commit new crimes and set an example for others. Denmark announces 900 million euros military aid package to Ukraine from 2025 to 2027, including air defense, artillery, and drone support. Foreign Minister Troels Lund Poulsen said, "Denmark remains committed to strengthening Ukraine's defense. This aid package reinforces our long-term support." The Russian-Indian naval exercises, Indra, have successfully concluded in the Bay of Bengal. According to Anadolu, the ships of the Indian Navy and the Russian Navy have returned to the Indian port of Chennai, where they will reflect on their collaborative efforts at sea and participate in an official closing ceremony. The Russian side was represented in the exercises by the corvettes Rezki, Aldar Tsaidanjapov, and the medium-sized sea tanker Pechenga from the Pacific Fleet. The Indian Navy participated with the large anti-submarine ship Rana and the corvette Kuthar. Over the course of 3 days, the sailors from both countries practiced tactical maneuvering in joint groups and improved practical skills in combating unmanned aerial vehicles and unmanned boats of a hypothetical adversary. They also conducted artillery firing exercises at sea and air targets. The exercise also involved deck helicopters from the naval aviation of the participating countries. A Russian Ka-27M helicopter landed on the Indian anti-submarine ship Rana, while the Indian crew of a Chetak helicopter landed on the deck of a Russian corvette. Militarny reported that the Russian ships had arrived in India at the end of March. The Indra exercises are aimed at improving the interaction between the fleets. They consist of both shore-based and maritime components. On shore, during the planning conference, ship commanders discuss issues of cooperation and the procedures for joint actions at sea. The sailors from both countries conduct mutual ship visits and participate in sports activities. The Indian Navy has stated that since their inception in 2003, those exercises had been intended to strengthen the long-term strategic relations between the Russian and Indian fleets. As previously reported, Inform Napalm found that the Indian company Park Controls and Communications had helped the Russian EMT obtain sanctioned equipment from Europe. This equipment was then used by Russia's defense industry for the production of weapons.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week at 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.